Hi there, this is Jenna from Eat to Love, and I wanted to follow up on my impromptu Facebook Live the other evening from a stoop in the Upper East Side about the recent information from Weight Watchers that they are rebranding themselves and renaming themselves, and offer a few more, slightly more developed thoughts about the whole joke. Weight Watchers has revealed that they're calling themselves WW now, and if you haven't already, you should really check out the Anti-Diet Plan's hilarious story around what we all think the WW stands for. One of my favorites was like wounding women, sadly. But I just want to point out that this is a really complicated issue. None of these things is so black and white, just like life itself. And so if you're feeling conflicted, like, well, it sounds like they're really heading in the right direction, you know, they're offering like body positivity and they're against weight stigma and they are bringing mindfulness to the table, and yet perhaps there's something that you just aren't 100% comfortable with, or something's kind of sticking in your head, is not quite right. Pay attention to that, you know. I think of this rebranding as gaslighting of the highest order. You know, I understand why they're doing it. They need to make money. And the only reason that they make so much money is because they don't work. If they did work, they would have put themselves out of business a long time ago. And the wisdom that they supposedly had would have just been handed out to everybody and everyone would have this all figured out. That is not the case. They are a business. They are widening their net so that they continue to increase their revenue. And part of doing that is responding to what people find acceptable. And people are finding it less and less acceptable to focus on weight because the information is out there, even though a lot of people don't want to pay attention to it because of our very strong internalized biases, that diets don't work and in fact contribute to so much damage, including long-term weight gain. And so they are gaslighting us by pretending to change what they're offering by simply taking the word weight out of their title. You could argue that it really doesn't matter because, sort of like the artist formerly known as Prince, everyone's going to still think of them as Weight Watchers. I don't think anyone is really considering them the go-to for wellness. So that's one thought. Pay attention to the complexities here. Read the articles written by people like Rebecca Scritchfield in the Washington Post and all the people who are taking issue with this, because this is really not about your wellness. This is about filling people's pockets with your cash. The second thing that I just wanted to touch on was the co-opting by the company formerly known as Weight Watchers of body positivity. And I mentioned in a video a couple of weeks ago about the origins of the whole body positivity movement and what it really started as, which was a social justice movement that held that all people of all sizes, colors, ages, levels of ability, deserve respect and inclusion and visibility and access to care. The BOPO movement is a sanitized version of that. That is also very easily commercialized, you know? And so what Weight Watchers is offering is what I would consider not even that sanitized version of body positivity, but sort of like BOPO light, as in LITE, as in 2 slices of bread for 40 calories, light. Again, they are trying to zero in on what will speak to you, what will get you to give them your cash, what will get you to hang your hopes for happiness and salvation and freedom from suffering on their supposed superior wisdom. And the third and final thing I wanted to mention, and again, this is what really gets me going, is the dovetailing with headspace and the incorporation of mindfulness and meditation in what they offer. Again, I don't know how many times I've already said this, but I'm sure it's a lot. Meditation is not about self-improvement. It's not a self-help technique. It's not a life hack. Meditation is not supposed to be used for anything. Of course, we all come to it because we're seeking something. But when we really get into it, when we really start to practice, when we really start to work with our minds, we realize that any sort of goals that we might have connected to it are arbitrary and beside the point, because in effect they take us out of what meditation is all about, which is being in the present moment with our experience as it is, with our bodies as they are, with our thoughts and feelings as they are. The fact that Weight Watchers has cherry-picked from these what have become trendy movements in our culture is nothing new. It's nothing surprising. And it's part of what makes this so complex and so confusing. So you have to decide for yourself. You are the ultimate judge, and I trust your judgment, which is why I take an approach that empowers you to figure out what works for you. But I do offer you this thought, and that is to pay attention to your body, to how it feels, to what it's communicating to you. Pay attention to your heart or your heart-mind in what little things don't seem quite right about this. You might choose to take the kind of pick and choose approach, but just be aware of what comes with that. And again, it's often some negation of your capacity, your basic okayness, the fact that you are okay just as you are. Because it is the idea that you could just improve a little bit more. You're okay as you are, but you could be just a little bit better. That is their clincher. So just pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your judgment, pay attention to your body, and work with this as it unfolds. So that's all for this week. And take care of yourself, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.